Sun Tzu believed that the root of any military success, the core essence of triumph, lay not just in the might of an army, but in mastering the following 5 essential pillars of military strategy. The first is the way. It isn't about roads or paths, but the heartbeat synchronizing a leader and their people. A leader's gaze should not just be fixed on the horizon, but also amongst their own, ensuring trust, loyalty, and a shared vision. When a leader and their people move as one, they create an unstoppable force. Then there's weather, not just the storms and the sunshine, but the understanding that nature itself is an ally or a foe waiting to be understood. Adapting to its unpredictability and harnessing its forces could turn the tide of any battle. Terrain is the third pillar. Beyond just mountains and rivers, it is about understanding the nuances of every landscape, be it physical or political. An astute leader reads the terrain, predicts its challenges, and pivots their strategy, always staying 2 steps ahead. However, at the center of all these pillars stands leadership, a world where mere titles gave way to true qualities. The wisdom to decipher information, the trustworthiness that made warriors follow without doubt, the compassion that saw beyond battles, the bravery to charge when others hesitated, and the judgment that weighed every decision with precision. Finally, the 5th pillar is discipline. Like the strings on a lute, each note, each order, and each command has to be precise, clear, and harmonious. A disciplined force is the reflection of its leader, echoing their virtues, their clarity, and their intent. As we traverse through time, it becomes evident that these pillars aren't just relics of a past era. They are timeless teachings, lessons for every leader, strategist, and anyone looking to conquer not just lands, but hearts and minds. In the heart of ancient China, every grain of rice, every piece of armor, and every golden coin all had a role in the grand theater of warfare. For Sun Tzu, it wasn't just about having these resources, but understanding their true worth. Resources are more than just tangible assets. A well-fed soldier was a happier warrior, a well-rewarded troop was a loyal knight, and a well-punished mistake was a lesson learned. The training wasn't just swinging swords. No, it was about molding minds, forging spirits, and creating an army that thought and acted as one. Yet in this game, time was the silent destroyer. Lengthy battles were the bane of any army, not because of the apparent loss of lives, but because time drained resources, weakened spirits, and dimmed the fires of passion. Every passing day in a prolonged conflict meant more resources expended, more energy drained, and a greater strain on the very soul of an army. With his visionary insight, Sun Tzu knew that victories were not just about overpowering the enemies, but outthinking them. A quick, well-strategized win was more than just a boost to morale. It was a masterclass in conserving resources and ensuring that the very lifeblood of an army, its supplies, and its spirit remained untouched and untapped. The battlefield itself is not merely a patch of land where soldiers meet in battles. It's a swirling vortex of decisions, actions, and reactions. And in this complex dance, Sun Tzu saw a rhythm, an ebb and flow, where the grace of one's motions could spell victory or defeat. Speed, to Sun Tzu, was the very heartbeat of this dance. Think of a leader as a conductor of a group. Every swift decision is a note played with precision. Hesitate, miss a beat, and the entire symphony might crumble, but strike with timely certainty, and the music comes alive, resonating with power and purpose. Yet speed isn't just about the rush forward. It's also about the nimble sidestep, the unexpected retreat, and the pivot at just the right moment. This adaptability, this ability to change one's tune mid-song, leaves opponents scrambling and disoriented, and in that confusion, the advantage is seized. Then there's momentum, that intangible force that feels almost like a gust of wind at one's back. With momentum, every step feels lighter and every decision clearer. You're not just in the battle, but leading it, steering it to your narrative. Your opponents? Merely reactive players in a story you're scripting. Now imagine an enemy ready and waiting, but instead of meeting them head on, you dance around them using their own expectations against them. When you understand the enemies, you can lead them, manipulate them, and ultimately control the outcome. In the vast expanse of ancient China, the landscape was as diverse as the thoughts of its people. From the towering mountains to the dense forests, from the sweeping plains to the snaking rivers, each terrain whispered its secrets, holding stories of countless battles won and lost within it. For a general like Sun Tzu, the ground beneath his feet was not just soil and stone. It was a canvas, a playground, a stage where the drama of warfare played out. Each type of terrain brought with its unique challenges and opportunities. With their narrow passes, the mountains could be a defender's dream, but a nightmare for the invading army. Dense forests could hide secrets and strategies, while vast plains demanded open confrontations. But the terrain was not just about the physical. It was deeply intertwined with the minds and spirits of the warriors who tread upon it. A soldier atop a hill felt invincible, looking down upon the enemy, while the same warrior in a valley might feel trapped, overwhelmed. The ground they stood on could uplift their spirits or drown them in despair. Sun Tzu, with his keen insights, recognized this powerful connection. He knew that by understanding the terrain, he could tap into the very psyche of his enemy. A forced march through a swamp could sap the enemy's energy, while holding the high ground could crush their morale. The physical and psychological were two sides of the same coin, and Sun Tzu was a master at flipping it to his advantage. To him, warfare was not just about swords and shields. It was about understanding the heart of the land and the soul of the enemy. By melding the two and harnessing the terrain's power as a weapon and shield, he could dictate the flow of battle, turning the tide in his favor even before the first arrow was loosed. And then there's victory. But consider victory not as a brute outcome, but as an opportune moment, a fleeting window when the stars align and victory is ripe for the taking. And like a seasoned fruit picker, one should pluck it at just that right instant. Waiting too long can result in a missed chance, while acting prematurely can be equally disastrous. But the canvas of warfare is ever-changing. The winds shift, fortunes turn, and in this dynamic scene, adaptability becomes paramount. Instead of being the puppet master pulling the strings, one could become the puppet, letting the opponent's moves dictate the dance. It's a reactive stance, but one that's cunningly proactive. In their moves, the opponent reveals their strategy and their vulnerabilities, and in this revelation lies the road to triumph. Yet the essence of this philosophy doesn't lie in mere reaction or waiting for that opportune moment. It's found in the fusion of intelligence, deep understanding, and unparalleled strategy. Victory is not about overpowering, but outthinking. Not about physical strength, but the strength of one's conviction and tactics. What about you? How could Sun Tzu's timeless strategies from the art of war guide your next move in life, business, or leadership? Comment below and be sure to subscribe.